B-boy. From the old to the new, still a B-boy. Too bold for the school, still a B-boy. East Coast to the West, B-boys worldwide. We supposed to be blessed, still a B-boy.
This week, we are heading to the CPT, Compton, California, to talk about one of the most underrated MCs to come out of the West. As a member of the iconic rap group NWA, this man is not talked about enough when talking about NWA and West Coast, but the Villain in Black was dope from the get-go. This week, top 10 MC Ren, Ruthless Villain solo songs. Joining me, Raven Hunter. And back again, Surreal the MC. All right, as always, I'll start this off and I'll take us to the year 1998. And the album is Ruthless for Life, his last album on Ruthless Records, which is ironic that Ruthless for Life was his last album on, but that's probably thinking too deep. Must Be High is the song. Although I think this album is kind of hit or miss, I think Ren kills this song. It's a faster beat, but Ren rides it perfectly. And from the beginning of Ren, even to go to NWA, he would all of a sudden do like 2 bars real fast. He would mix in all of his verses, which wasn't really being done back then. So he's a little ahead of his time there. But, you know, Ren stayed loyal to Easy and Ruthless to the end, till Tamika Wright literally buried that shit in the ground. So Ruthless for Life, Must Be High was my number 10. What about you, Raven?
So number 10, yeah, I was on Ruthless for Life as well. Song produced by Raw Steel called Shot Caller featuring Big Rock and the Chill. I love the beat. It's a hard beat. I think all 3 verses come really hard. Ruthless for Life, surprisingly, is probably my second favorite Ren album. Pretty much track for track, I love it. I love the production and the flow and delivery Ren had during this era. 98 was it was really cycling towards the end of Ruthless and their heyday for sure. But the production, like between that album and The Art of War and Shit from Bone, like they had great production going for them on Ruthless at that time. And a lot of the beats kill it on Ruthless for Life.
It definitely is a crisper sound than like Shock of the Hour, Villain in Black. It was almost like they brought it up to a more, that was what was becoming more common, was that crisper studio sound.
Refined sound.
Yeah, late 90s. Ruthless for Life, 2 in a row. Surreal is your number 10 from that album?
No, it's from Villain in Black. That's 96, I believe.
Yes.
Great Elephant, another super. That's kind of in between. Some of the beats on Villain in Black are kind of in between, like the dirty sample MPC beats in the more keyboard, crispy, clean beats. So, yeah, the Villain in Black, Great Elephant, number 10.
That was an honorable mention. Villain in Black was just really like I never hated it. I liked it, but I never loved it. It always was just like, oh, that's all right. As far as me, that's how I remember it then. That's even kind of how I saw it now. But Great Elephant, ooh, you're shaking your head. Great Elephant was one of my favorite ones. No, and I should love this album. So much of production is done, by Above the Law. I love that sound. I love Ren. I don't know why. I'm just kind of neutral on this record. But we'll talk about it later. Number 9, I'm going to my favorite MC Ren album, no doubt about it. 1993, Shock of the Hour. And I'm going with the song Same Old Shit, Every Day and Every Night. Now, I love this album. I could have almost picked 7, 8 songs from Shock of the Hour. I love it so much.
Sure.
But this song always kind of reminded me of like Cube's It Was a Good Day, but with a Ren twist on it. It's a little bit more, I don't want to say more gangster, but it's a little bit more, his wasn't all good, but it was just a day in the life in his hood, and he just lays it out so perfect. And I love the sample of Slick Rick's Lottie Dottie. It's just a dope beat that fits the mood of this record. Great storytelling. Same old shit every day and every night. I think it was the first song after the intro. Great way to start a Ren album. Dope record. That was my number 9. Raven, what's yours?
My number 9, I went to 1996's Villain in Black, produced by Big Jesse, Still the Same M. Real dope song, and all I wrote was hard shit. That's all I wrote beside it. Just those are my notes. Hard shit.
Hard shit.
So apparently, I just felt like that track was hard as shit.
It must have been
Um,
hard shit. Yeah.
so I shake my head at you, sir. The Villain in Black is his best album.
Wow.
Like, in my opinion, every track is classic Ren sound and feel, and just it was a little more gritty, but like Surreal said, it started to feel like it was crisping up here and there. There was parts of the album that sounded like maybe they were produced a little more separate from each other. But that's that beat from Big Jesse, just it goes hard shit. And listening to these again made me realize I really can't rap along with any Ren song as a white man, because
Yeah, a lot of
he drops
editing
the
needs
N
up.
word more than anyone.
Well, it's what's interesting is we're usually so much on the same page. And I don't not like that record. I've always been very neutral to it. There's songs I like off of it, and one that'll get brought up, but it is a solid record. And I think like Above the Law, whether it was Cold 187 or Multiple, produced
Yeah, they
most
did
of
a
that
lot of that
record.
album.
Yeah. And I love ATL. I mean, we did that list already, so
Mhm.
Surreal, what was number 9 on your list?
Number 9 from Kiss My Black Ass, right up my alley. The way it kind of rolls in, he's
My,
talking, you go home in a body bag, and like it just like damn the beat, the pianos. Also, R.I.P. to DJ Train, one of my favorite
yes.
DJs growing up. He DJ'd for Ran, JJ Fad, West Coast legend.
Yep.
He died in a fire years ago.
Yeah, House
Yeah,
Fire.
yeah, but right up my alley from the Kiss My Black Ass EP.
I was going to talk about Train, actually with my next pick, but I'm glad you brought it up too, because so many people don't know that name. And he started with JJ Fad, then became Ren's DJ. And I remember when he died, the source had like a half-page obituary with a picture
Mhm.
of him and Ren, and I had that up on my hip hop wall. But yeah, DJ Train, not enough people know that name. So my number 8 is from '92's Kiss My Black Ass, and it's the single off of here, Final Frontier. First off, this is an amazing EP. I know it made everyone's list in the EP countdown we did, but such a great EP. And maybe Final Frontier might be one of his most well-known songs to people who aren't hardcore Ren. That might have been the one that I want to say crossed over, but most people know the name of as far as solo. Produced by the legendary Bobcat with that piano sample from BDP's Bridge Is Over. Oh, that's just so fucking dope. And I couldn't remember how I got it, but I know I had a VHS promo tape with this video on it. And I couldn't for the life of me remember how I got it, but I remember having that. Speaking of the video, you got Easy E in it with a flamethrower. I mean, I just picture Easy being like, man, I can buy a flamethrower. All right, we got to get this in a video. I love Final Frontier. So that was my number 8. I'll stop talking. Raven, what's yours?
Number 8, I stayed on 96's Villain in Black, produced by Madness for Real and DJ Jam. I don't give a damn. And again, the only thing I wrote was hard shit. Um, that's another one of them just hard ass beats that you know by now. Sorry, by now you know what dirty type of just gangster nasty gangster beats I like, and a lot of Villain in Black and Ruthless for Life have those eras of those beats that I love, and that's why those albums resonate with me even more. Shock of the Hour I would have said anytime before was my favorite Ren album, and I think I got one song from that album on this list. So over the years, apparently my taste has changed a lot, but I don't give a damn.
Yeah, that was on my honorable mentions. It was also a single. I can picture the maxi single cover for some reason. But no, that's a good song. I have like 3 or 4 those songs were making my honorable mentions, just not making my list. So it's not like I'm shitting on that record.
Oh, I'm not hating. I'm not saying you hate me.
No, I ain't no hater, unless it's about Little Wayne.
And me for Outcast.
And you, okay. All right, regressing. Number 8, Surreal. What's yours?
Well, I'd like to point out that Kiss My Black Ass went platinum. So when you said that, you know, that kind of justifies what you're saying a minute ago. And Shock of the Hour went gold, I believe. Also, I had that VHS tape you're talking about. It was a Priority record sample because that first EP was still distributed by Priority.
Right.
I can't remember. So there was a clean and a dirty version of the video. And I was thinking maybe the clean was on the rock video / rap video monthly too,
Yeah.
but because I remember I had both videos on VHS, but one might have been taped off Yo Raps and one was on that compilation. But my number 8 is from Shock of the Hour, Fuck What You Heard. I also had Forget What You Heard on the 12-inch single. The clean version was called Forget What You Heard. And the front cover looked similar to Same Old Shit, except it was brown or tan instead of black and white. But
Yeah, so-
that was the second single. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so
it
this
was
is
that
same old
font.
shit, but right there is Fuck What You Heard. It's like a dark orange. It's almost the same color as the record,
yeah.
kind of that color.
Kind of,
But
yeah, kind of like
it's,
that.
it's
Yeah.
real blank, just as MC Ren.
But they all the wax always had the red and black Ruthless label on the,
right.
you know, like.
So this will move me to number 7, and I'm going to the year 1988. The album Straight Outta Compton. The song If It Ain't Rough. Only Ren's on it, so I count it. This album is obviously full of famous songs, but Ren kills his solo offering. He's actually got 2 solo songs on here. He proves just how lyrical he is, how dope his flow is. Like I said, I don't know if we're taping yet. I think in 88, when NWA starts, Ren's the most polished rapper. I think he's more polished than Cube is. Maybe Cube throughout the years would, surpass him. But in 88, when they're young, I think Ren, his flow, his lyrics, I think we're the best in the group. But skills don't always mean you're going to be the most popular. Yeah, the other Ren solo song is Quiet on the Set, and that's a dope song too. But If It Ain't Rough, I just always like that joint. So that was my number 7. Raven, 7.
I would concur that I think Ren was the best member of NWA, and then Cube over time took that easy, in my opinion. But
Right.
I'll take MC Ren over Dr. Dre, even after the Chronic, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, sorry. Number 7, I went back to 1998's Ruthless for Life. The song produced by T-Mix, Must Be High, because it's a hard ass track. That's a hard ass beat, and if you fucking with Ren, then you must be high.
And he rides that shit perfect. It's a quicker beat. I'm glad someone else feel that. That was always a standout to me on that record. That Must Be High track.
Mm-hmm.
Good number 7. Surreal's your number 7 good?
Yeah, I was copying your homework, I guess, because I got If It Ain't Rough off Straight Outta Compton's my number 7. It's wild. We never line up like that. That's wild.
No, yeah, it's usually Raven.
We're usually flip-flop.
Yeah,
that's classic. Yeah, it counted. It's a solo.
yeah.
I have a lot of crossing off, and that's my number 7.
And I mean, I talked about him being the lyrical one. He really brings it lyric wise. And you got to remember, this is 88. Yes, there was other lyrical rappers on the East, but Ren was just killing it with, little wordplay and stuff. Yeah, that's dope. You had that too. That's a good pick. Which transitions me into my number 6, which also is not on an MC Ren solo album, but it's not on an NWA album either. It's from 1996's original Gangster soundtrack. The song is Who Wanna Be the Villain, I think is the exact title.
Oh yeah.
I forgot about that. Such a dope song. I forgot all about it.
I think this is one of his most underrated songs he's ever had. And a lot of it is probably because of the album it's on. A lot of people didn't hear it. The movie Original Gangsters was not very good, but the soundtrack was really
Ghetto Boys are on
good.
it, right?
Yeah, Ghetto Boys are on it.
A lot of hard hitters on there.
Ice-T, Spice One. I mean, it's such a dope soundtrack. And the movie, the only thing I remember about the movie is it had Jim Brown in it, and it took place in Gary, Indiana. Couldn't tell you anything else about it. But this song
this is like the 5th show that soundtrack's been brought up, though.
It is such a dope soundtrack. And it kind of flew under the radar, I think, for a lot of people. And Ren has a slow flow on this song. It's an eerie beat produced by 4D. Just a great beat to slow scratches they add in. It sounds like a song that should have been on the Tales from the Hood soundtrack. It's got that vibe. but
Yeah,
That's
pretty cool.
such an underrated MC Ren song. It had to make my list. Who Wanna Be the Villain? Original Gangster soundtrack. My number 6. Raven, what's yours?
I went back to 1992, my first time hitting Kiss My Black Ass, produced by Bobcat, Farmer Frontier. Such a hard song. That's gritty, classic, hard NWA, MC Ren. That EP just it hits so hard, like NWA's first album. I think that EP hits harder than Easy Does It album, and I love that fucking album. But just it's so gritty and gangster sounding. That whole EP.
Yeah, I would. Easy Doesn't Might have more iconic songs, but they had surpassed that by Ren's Kiss My Black Ass.
Yeah, that sound. They had moved from that
Right,
Dr. Dre sound onto just
right.
getting more gritty.
It'd have been interesting to see, because on the inside it says taken from upcoming album Life Sentence, and then
Yeah.
that got scrapped. It would have been interesting to see what would have came out of that if he went along with Life Sentence. And we got Shock of the Hour, which I'm happy for, but I always kind of wondered, because
How hard could that have been?
how dope could it have been? I know some songs were recorded and he scrapped them once he
Yeah, I
converted
think
to being
Islam,
Muslim.
to Nation of Islam, and then later he converted to Sunni Islam. But yeah, because I had the CD of Shock of the Hour, and I have the 2 singles on vinyl. But I think the tape had the side A and the side B were called 2 different things, and like the side A was like the gangster reality side, and the side B was the like the I can't remember what words he actually used because I didn't have the cassette, but it was like the revolutionary side, but
Right.
it was something else. But I don't know why I think I know that. I know I didn't make it up, but there's something to it where side A was kind of the Life Sentence
Right.
vibe, and then some of those songs we never heard, and then because like the real like Kill Whitey songs are side B, like the end of the album, and we'll get into that.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but
I love
you are absolutely right. You're absolutely right about the split sides because he used what he condemned some of those songs for being too outside of what he wanted to do now. So we'll never hear those. But the ones that they were able to retool and keep, that would have been considered the first side.
Number 6, Surreal.
My number 6 is I had to bring this up because it's one of my favorite albums of all time. CPO to Hell in Black, Ballad of a Menace.
So underrated.
Ren solo, but Ren kind of produced the album as a whole with Young D, and I think Ian Train was involved in that, and Boss Hog, CPO, and Rhythm and all those guys. But Ballad of a Menace, oh yeah, there's that sample, and then Ren's flow is just like spotless. He's just killing the beat on that song. It was they had a couple, the 2 or 3 singles and videos off that album. But CPO to Hell in Black, Ballad of a Menace.
Totally, really underrated album, and not enough people know CPO. I'm glad you brought out that album because you're right. I think Ren produced, or at least executive producer of the entire project. He was kind of like his mentor for the album. No, that's great you brought that up. I love that record. So we are halfway, and I decided for my number 5 to say, Raven, this one's for you. This is my peace offering. 1996's The Villain in Black that I can't hold straight. And I'm going with Mad Scientist. This song is just the shit. That's what I wrote down. It sounds like it could have been on the Shock of the Hour album. It's got that vibe. Beat by Dr. Jam, that dark, hard beat with the scratching and the hook is just so good. Plus, he mentions Ice-T 6 in the morning in it. So it's got to make a list, right? But I can't hear this and not just bob my head like I'm being hypnotized. He was the mad scientist in this track. So I love that fucking song. So that's my one pick off of Villain in Black, the mad scientist. Number 5, Raven. What's yours?
Number 5, I went back to 1992's Kiss My Black Ass, produced by Bobcat. The very problematic behind the scenes.
Ooh, here it is. Someone put it on their list.
I had to because that was my favorite song on that EP when I was a kid, when I was
Oh
growing
yeah.
up. You know what I mean? It was hilarious. Me and my brother used to laugh our asses off on that track. So problematic in
Oof.
today's time. From her being a minor in school to the whole family incest shit to all 10 of them just like gang raping her at the end.
Right. It's bad.
It's such a problematic song, but I still laugh and bob my head every time. It was because for the last like week, I've just listened to the 11 songs I couldn't get down to 10 on repeat.
Mhm.
And every time I still bob my head and laugh with behind the scenes.
I was wondering if it
Like
make anybody's list.
jumping through the window with his dick in his hand, like a real one, you know? Like
Teenage Chris, that would have been in the top 5 for MC Ren
I,
songs.
that's my number 5. I had to keep it.
Yeah.
I had to keep it real with myself.
Yeah, it just was like you said, so problematic. That's why it didn't make my list. But I mean, I'd be lying if I said didn't say when I was a kid I thought that was such a dope song. That and like Karis One did 13 and Good,
Yeah,
where
that's a real
that's a
problematic song.
and I didn't even think
Real.
about it at the time, but
I won't even
they're
be putting that one on my list, you
they're
know.
so fucked up when you think about it as an adult. Like, what the fuck were you thinking? Just saying the illest shit, but
I mean, Cool J Rap had a single about beating the shit out of women. Like, there's plenty of
oh,
really
there's plenty
problematic
of
shit.
examples. Plenty of examples. Plenty of examples. Number 5, Surreal.
Shock of the hour. Do you believe in false ideas and concepts? Do you believe? That's what like the second half of Shock of the Hour is like the real deal. Like some of it's so far beyond. Like there's only a few rappers that touch on subject matter like in that lane, like Gangster Nip, obviously Ghetto Boys and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, do you believe?
In that whole second half, I think I put it in one of my notes when I go back to that album, but especially the second half of Shock of the Hour, it's almost got sonically a horrorcore vibe to it.
Yeah, yeah.
That would
But
fit
like
in.
lyrics are like Jesus wasn't white like the lion
Blind
devil
Devil
told you.
told you. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's killing it.
And
It's like
sonically, it's
Fear
just
of a
so
Black Planet
eerie.
on like steroids.
Right, exactly. With a gangsta twist, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
No, such a great record. It will get brought up again later, but not yet. Because my number 4, I'm going back to 92's Kiss My Black Ass with Z's. And I'm going with the title track, Kiss My Black Ass, the last song. Amazing EP. And I love this song. Another beat by Bobcat. Great hook with scratching. The breakdowns are just perfect. Faster beat, kind of like Must Be High, but Ren rides it perfect. And even though I don't agree with what Ren's all talking about on this, but the beat is just so great and he rides it so great. It's just impossible for me not to love this song, rap along with it. Great way to end this extended play, Kiss My Black Ass. So I love that song. Kiss My Black Ass always gets me hyped. Raven, what's your number 4?
I think Kiss My Black Ass has one of the best album covers of the early 90s too. It's so simple,
It
but
does.
it looks so effective and good. And like I'd put that full size poster on my wall today. I still love
Right.
that album art.
Yeah, I actually
Anyway.
had it on long box. I bought it because
Oh
I was
hell yeah.
in '92. I was a senior in high school, and I had the long box CD of
That's
that.
awesome.
You know what I remember is the edited version of this record just had Ren, and it was just self-titled MC Ren, MC Ren.
I didn't know
So
that.
I don't remember that. That's wild. I remember At Will, Ice Cube
Yeah,
Pull
it
Up
was
Will
like
was
that
At
at
Will.
will. Yeah, but it was just
I'm gonna have to look
self-titled.
that up on Discogs.
Yeah,
That's
I can
that's
remember that. I know that. I know I'm not making that up. I can remember seeing that and
no, that
laughing
makes
at it.
sense. They would
No,
have sold it at like Target and
Yeah,
Walmart and
yeah,
stuff back then,
Ruthless was really
or
about
Kmart.
making like real clean music too. Like Easy
Yeah,
does it.
right,
Some of those songs are almost totally
yeah,
different
right,
because of how much they changed some of those lyrics.
right.
yeah.
Definitely.
The everybody used to say like ish because that was an ish.
I always
Uh,
laugh at the really old stuff when they just use beat like loud beeps.
Oh
Like
yeah, it's yeah,
beep, beep, beep. It's like, how did we listen to that? How fucking annoying. Then they got
yeah.
a little bit better with scratches and
I think
ish.
Love's BDP Love's Gonna Get You has like a super loud beat.
Yeah, yep.
mm,
Went to school cold busting my
Put my
boot.
beep. My philosophy too. How many MCs must get this?
Oh,
before
yeah,
they
it
realize
does.
don't.
Yeah.
Or Chris. But this is not the BDP list. We are on number 4, and I think we're on Raven still, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got off the topic. But yeah, I'm gonna go back to 93 Shock of the Hour and we can talk a little bit more. Beat by Tootie. This beat is so fucking hard. Shock of the Hour with we're talking about Cam. We get to bring Cam up again. And Layway. But Shock of the Hour is so goddamn hard. And that song is very borderline horrorcore-ish. And it's all about how much they hate honkies, but it's such a good song. It's so fucking hard. Cam is so fucking good, always. He kills this shit. The opening verse, it sounds like it could have been on like a 3-6 Mafia record.
Right.
But that's the only song that ended up making my list from Shock of the Hour. Because Shock of the Hour is so fucking hard.
I'm glad I made someone's list because that would have been like my 11 or 12. I love that. And then once Cam comes in, it's like, oh shit. I am a huge Cam stan.
Yeah,
I mean,
Cam is
I
so good.
fucking love Cam. And we're doing that list one day because number 4, Surreal.
I got from Kiz, Final Frontier video, the production, the you know, kind of one of he doesn't have a lot of songs that have that single factor, which is something I like about him actually. But Final Frontier, you know, kind of the whole package with that joint, and we already talked about it, so I don't need to go off too much about it. But that's my number 4.
I'm glad, yeah, I made all of our lists. Such a dope song. Which brings us to our top 3. And I'm going to Shock of the Hour. And I'm going to the song Attack on Babylon. Now, this is going to be a long explanation. This was considered for number 1. I love the song that much. The beat is by longtime Ruthless Records producer Rhythm D. And it's just so goddamn amazing. The vibe of the beat, the haunting bass and drums. It's eerie as hell hook. But after the second verse, there's a bridge, a little breakdown. And then the first 4 bars of the third verse is just a bass slowly building. And if you have subwoofers or a big system, we used to use this song to test someone if they got a new, you know, woofers or, you know, box in the back of their car, because it would just slowly, it was almost like the beat CDs that would just do different levels to test it, just and it hits you in your fucking gut. It's not the same when you're listening to it, you know, with, you know, earbuds in. And Ren raps perfectly for this type of song. Even adds a bar or 2 of his fast style, which I talked about before. And that add to the haunting vibe, Ren overdubs every single word of every single verse, but in a light, almost like ghost tone. It just makes it perfect.
Yeah, on headphones, it sounds real good too.
Yes. I could talk about this song forever. It is so fucking amazing to me. Attack on Babylon is the shit. It could have made my number 1 and I wouldn't have lost sleep. So that was my number 3. Raven, what's yours?
Number 3, I'm glad I wasn't cheating when I put If It Ain't Rough on my list. It made my number 3. I'm glad to hear I wasn't the only one. What a dope flow, and just that was a standout song on a group album. So that's hard to do as any solo artist. That song shines on a group album full of hard hitters in that group too. Just a testament to how good Ren was. You know, Cube got the shine for writing for him, but Easy's music got grittier on that 187 it's on when Ren took over for him. So that's the style I like more anyway.
Yeah, it made all of our lists, which it should. Classic album, dope song. Number 3, Surreal the MC.
So number 3's one of my favorite songs all time. It's on Shock of the Hour, but the version I like better is a completely different intro, a completely different beat. And lyrically, there's 1 or 2 discrepancies. Mayday on the Front Line from the CB4 soundtrack. And the single on Wax actually was that version too. That is just
another great soundtrack too.
Yeah. The version on Shock is dope too, but the one on CB4 is amazing.
It's edited too. He switched up. I think it's a clean version.
Yeah, that's true.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is one of the differences. But you're right, it is. There's other different things about it. Hell yeah, CB4, dope album. The only thing is, after I listen to that soundtrack, I always think they should have done a whole CB4 album of the group, you know?
Facts. Full length
After,
song.
yeah, after Straight Out of Lil Cash, Sweat on My Balls, I'm like, damn, I want a whole record of it. Even though it was
Fear of a
high,
Black Planet's another great one with another
yeah,
great soundtrack.
it is. And that one is even less remembered than CB4 is.
Black Hat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Fear of Black Hat.
Yeah, that's what I meant, not Black
Yeah,
Planet.
I
We
knew
know
what
who
you
that
meant.
is.
I knew what you meant. Yes, great one. And that was a single off that soundtrack, I believe.
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
was a single off that soundtrack because I think the single, I used to have it on record.
It
It
was
said
black.
CB4 on it, right?
Yep.
I remember that
Mhm.
right? Right. So it was released as a single off CB4 soundtrack. Good
So
pick.
yeah, I just one of the other singles off that soundtrack was a DJ Hurricane with Ad Rock song, and that was a different
Yes.
beat
That's a
than
dope
the
song.
album on Hurricane solo on Grand Royal. I never put two and two together. I know it's kind of weird that two of the singles off that album were on the artist's actual albums with different beats.
Yeah, that was the era Hurricane came out with the solo album.
Yeah, the
Hurrah.
Hurrah. And,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's another
Yeah.
really good song. That is a good soundtrack. You get PE.
Yeah.
Foosh Schnickens had a good song on there, sneaking up on
Yeah.
you. Go check out the CB4 soundtrack, people. But I'll bring us back to Ren. My number two, I'm going back to 1998's Ruthless for Life. And I'm going with the title track, the first song, Ruthless for Life. I remember this single dropping before the album and being like, oh shit, Ren is back. And I mean, just an amazing song to release ahead of an album. The whole album, I mean, the whole song is just looking back on his career. So many references to his NWA days, solo days. Every line is just a hit of nostalgia if you're a hardcore Ren fan. Beat by LT Hunton, which is just as amazing as the lyrics. And I want to talk about the video. So in the video, he's got like a wheelbarrow and a shovel, and it's pouring rain at night, and he's going through the cemetery. And then he comes up to Eric Wright's grave. So he starts digging the grave, and turns out Easy isn't in the coffin, and he's like a spirit attacking these other cats. But it just adds to the song. The lyrics are amazing. I mean, when he ends the second verse with "Y'all can kiss my black ass one more time," it like literally puts shivers up my spine. It hits me that much. So it's hard not to put at number one because it just makes sense. It's a recap of his career. But Ruthless for Life, holy shit. Such a dope song. Is that your number two, Raven?
Show the fuck is Ruthless for Life. It's my one and two. I kept jumping back and forth because they're my two favorite beats of Ren's career. And beats are very important to me with music because I was all about turning up my shit as loud as I could and going down to the beach because I live, 30 minutes from Ocean City, big tourist area, and just pumping shit like this in the summer. And yeah, he ends the first verse with, "Y'all know if it ain't rough, it ain't me." It's
Yep.
just reference after reference, and
Yep.
that beat is so goddamn good.
Whew.
LT Hunton kills that beat. It sounds like it could have been a DJ Unique beat from the E1999 era of Bone, or just it could have been on that Natural Born Killers project that turned into that DOC Helter Skelter album.
Mm-hmm.
Just so good, and that beat is so fucking. To this day, that beat is so good. And we had the single, and me and my brother made so many fucking songs over that beat. You think I would be sick of it back when
Oh
we used to
yeah.
just freestyle and shit. But no, that beat is still to this day. If I, yo, let me use that beat, Ren. I love that beat.
Surreal's your number two? Ruthless for Life? I'm guessing no.
My number two is from Shock of the Hour, Attack on Babylon,
Oh,
for
my
the
man. My
exact
man.
same reasons you mentioned. So I don't need to reiterate it, but the attention to detail with the beat,
Yes.
back on Babylon, the chorus, the hook, the lyrics, the way they're recorded, like just exact same reasons you love it. Attack on Babylon.
I'm glad someone else holds it in that high esteem because it's such a great damn song. So it brings us to number one. and I'll go right into it. I'll stay with Shock of the Hour. Best Ren album, to me at least. And I'm going with Mayday on the Front Line. You brought it up before. There's a different version on CB4. But this song just kind of sums up to me the vibe of Shock of the Hour. Sonically, we talked about this already, kind of horrorcore vibe on this record. Another dope beat by Dr. Jam. So damn good with the scratching and the hook. He drops the beat at the perfect time. It has that bridge after the second verse that is basically just gunshots and people screaming, but it works. It really works. You're like just nodding along to the gunshots and people screaming. You get classic MC Ren subject matter. I had to be honest, that's my favorite MC Ren song, Mayday on the Front Line. Raven, what's your favorite MC Ren song?
My favorite MC Ren song is because that's my favorite beat that Ren's ever been on. DJ Jam and Madness for Real, Mad Scientist from Villain in Black. It's such a good beat. And I could hear so many good artists on that beat, but I don't think any of them would have hit it the way Ren hit that beat. It's much like Ruthless for Life. It's just such a hard hitting song, such a hard song.
Dope song. That's why it was on my list. Surreal. What was number one on your list?
Number one, MC Ren song, sticking to Shock of the Hour, the title track, Shock of the Hour. Bum diddy bum 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 diddy bum 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 diddy bum
Yeah.
bum
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, just I mean, it's one of my favorite songs of all time, any genre. It's not even hip hop. Like it's one of those songs. I gotta watch out when I listen to it because it changes my behavior. I get too hyped. Like it is
Yeah.
might tear the club up.
Right.
Even though it's not necessarily a clubby song, it like I could like. I mean, I bet beat some white people up when I hear it. I don't know. It is spot on, man.
It is. Yeah.
Cam is so good, and Cam is so good.
Oh, I know. And we got to do a Cam relatively soon because we bring him up all the time. I'm glad that but like I said, it just missed my list. I'm glad it made both of yours. Yeah. Every time I hear it, I walk around for the next 10 minutes, bumpity bum bum, like you said. Just sticks
bombs
in your
going down a mile deep, blowing up a mile. Yeah, we should do a Cam list.
Hell yeah, we should do a Cam list.
Hell yeah.
We'll schedule that shit. I love Cam. All right, MC Ren, we did it. Honorable mentions if it's your first time. If a song didn't make anybody's list, but I think it needs some love, I just do a quick honorable mention to get it out there. She Swallowed It off of the For Life album is only Ren rapping on it.
Yeah.
All bullshit aside from Shock of the Hour. Keep It Real off of Villain in Black. The Bitch Made Killer, which is the first track off Villain in Black. Off of Reincarnated, the title track's Reincarnated. And there's a song called V-Funk that was all right. And this is a lesser known one. It's called Still Ain't Free. In Paris, from the Bay Area, Paris, Gorilla Funk put out a compilation called Hard Truth Soldier. And there was a unique MC Ren song on there just for that comp called Still Ain't Free. And that would have made my top 15, but it had to at least make honorable mentions just because it's not known by a lot of people. So all you out there, check out Still Ain't Free. Check out Who Wanna Be the Villain off original Gangster soundtrack. Are we missing anything?
Well, my favorite, but they don't meet the criteria, is off DOC's album, the grand finale. Yo, Turn the Bus. Like that.
Always gonna make the list.
And off For Life, the Real Ends Don't Die. That's one of my favorite Ren verses, but it didn't make the criteria, so I had to honorable mention it.
My 11 and 12 that I was stuck on forever was Bitch Made and Killer and Attack on Babylon. They were the two that fall back and forth and just didn't make it.
Right. I'm glad Babylon's getting all the love.
Yeah.
Such a dope song. Well, we did it. MC Ren. Till next time. Have a good night, y'all.
Still a B-boy, from the old to the new, still a B-boy. Too bold for the school, still a B-boy. East Coast to the West, B-boys worldwide, we supposed to be blessed. Still a B-boy, from the old to the new, still a B-boy. Too bold for the school, still a B-boy. East Coast to